Okay, friends, find your comfy seat, whatever it is. I like to try out Sukhasana. Okay, it's nice and easy. Okay, as a matter of fact, Sukhasana means easy pose. So whatever works for you, and if you find that you maybe can't relax your hips, maybe you feel like you have to lean back, then try just sitting on something like a pillow, but just sit so that your hips are a little lifted off the ground. Your pillow, your shoes, your sweater, your yoga mat. Don't sit on your shoes. Okay, so find something that lifts your hips. Maybe it'll make it a little more easy to relax into. But close your eyes down and just start to breathe here. Just take a moment to appreciate the length in your spine, sitting down heavily into each hip, letting that tailbone drop really low. Feel your breath inflate your belly and your rib cage. All right, notice the arrangement of your bones. A seated posture is one where we can really hone in on alignment, okay, especially of the spine and all the things that hang off of it. There's so much depending on your spine. So see if you could put a little inward pull on your belly button so that your lumbar curve, okay, your lower back curve is a little more neutral. And we can also help out the cervical spine, okay, the curve on the back of your neck, by tucking your chin in a little bit, and that's going to neutralize that cervical curve. Slide your shoulder blades down your back to feel that lumbar curve neutralize as your chest moves up and forward. Put a little knitting in your lowest ribs so they're moving inward. And as much as you can, breathe through your nose and continue to cultivate that slow, long breath. Inhale, length into the spine. And exhale to feel a little bit more rooted through the hips and the tailbone. Take a moment just to notice how you're feeling today. Just kind of checking in with yourself, your body, your thoughts. And then we'll start to move a little bit from this position. So little twists. With your inhale, just get your arms up overhead. Remember that as your arms come up, your shoulder blades go down, so you keep a long neck. And we'll twist, exhaling to the left, tap the floor in front and behind you with your fingers. Back to center, inhale, long neck. Exhale to the right, tap the floor. And we'll take this a few more times, please. Just find a rhythm that suits you. Slow rhythm of your breath. Gently warming your shoulders, and your whole spinal column. A little bit of core activation here too. So as you twist, just feel your rib cage revolving around your spine to one side. Feel your shoulder blades nice and low behind your rib cage. And you want to feel like your sternum, right, the middle of your chest, is always lifting toward the ceiling to create more space. Okay, next time you turn out to the right, friends, let's pause here and just enjoy it. We've built a little bit of warmth in the upper body, so we can use that. You can take the left elbow, or what is this, a hand, left hand to your right knee, and start to look over your right shoulder. Let's take some big breaths here. Okay, think of the right hand pressing from the shoulder into the right knee. Sorry, that's a left hand. There's so many hands. Okay, maybe one more big breath in as you lengthen your spine. One more big exhale as you pull your belly button inward towards your spine, strengthening that low back. Okay, let's bring it back to center. Inhale, just like before, and exhale to the left. Let's hold here. Right hand to the left knee, and then use it from the right shoulder. Press onto the left knee. Lift the rib cage, spread it wide. You might even feel the back of the rib cage, that right shoulder blade kind of peeling off. One more long, slow breath in. And another long, slow breath out. And let's bring it back into center. Big breath in. Okay, this time, interlace your fingers. We're going to flip the palms up. And exhale as you press your hands out to one side. Think of rooting through the opposite hip. Inhale back up. Exhale, other side. Press down into the hip. Let's take this a few more times. As a matter of fact, each time you exhale, you can almost think of just pressing down into the hip instead of leaning to the side. And see if the leaning just kind of happens on its own. So we want to lengthen that side body here. You want to feel your low back. Your shoulders are getting warmer. And all we have to do is press into one hip at a time. Maybe 3 more. 2 more. Last one on each side. Nice. Let your hands go. Rest your shoulders. Probably feeling some nice warmth in your deltoids that wraps around the top of your shoulder. So with your hands on your knees, just kind of roll them out. Big or shoulder circles, roll them the other way. All right, nice warmth. And then one more thing, before we start to move around, let's just get your neck nice and open. So with your tip of your nose, you're gonna start to draw a rainbow shape. We'll start it over on the right shoulder. Right shoulder, tip of the nose pointed in that direction. And then going up from your right shoulder, draw your rainbow over your head. And it ends over on your left shoulder. And let's go back the way we came, up to the ceiling and down to the right. It's very simple, very subtle, but I want you to just dive in. Opening up your throat on the inhale. You have this big, vulnerable throat space. Okay, and you're also compressing the back of the neck, which is a great massage. All the tissues that move your skull get so tired. Maybe 3 more of these on each side. Keep the shoulder blades low if you can. 2 more. Last one on each side. Feels good in the neck. All right. Once your nose comes back down and around, shake it off. That should have felt really good. Okay, pick up your knees here, and we're just going to point knees out to one side. Come to hands and knees. Okay, we'll start off with some trusty cat-cows. So grip the mat strong, please. Pull your elbows inward and turn on your chest as well as your strong belly. Belly moves up and in toward the spine. And then arching your spine on your inhale to a cow pose. Pull on the mat. I want you to pull your hands back to your feet. Pull, pull, pull. Send that heart through and exhale. Push the floor away. Round your spine. Send the belly button up and in. I like to shake the head out here. Shake your face out. And then back to an inhale, arching, pulling that spine forward. Exhale, push it away. So you keep moving and breathing. Close your eyes. This is a nice one to just feel. Okay, really you can get into some spaces in your back that might be sore and sticky. Okay, maybe some places around and between your shoulder blades. Bring it back to a flat back here. Okay, let's pick up the right hip and keeping the hips level. Pick up the right knee and keeping your hips level. We'll circle out the hip. Okay, so do your best to keep those hips level. I like to imagine there's a dinner plate on my lower back and I don't want to drop it. Let's rewind it. So notice what's different when we keep the hips level. Okay, notice this. And now we're going to pick the hip up. Notice this. Lift the right hip over the left. What's the difference? These circles can get a lot bigger for sure. And rewind. Let the joint get nice and warm. Okay, let's send the right knee or the right leg, okay, knee extended out behind. We're gonna drop those right toes to the floor, drop the right heel, and then spin on that left knee cap to point your left toes behind you. And then that right hand can reach up and you're in a supported side plank. Okay, supported side plank is one of my favorite postures to use when warming up because you get a really great stretch along the whole side of your body and it starts to strengthen the supporting side as well. So make sure you have your left knee firmly under your left hip. Sometimes I see people who have the left knee not under their hip and they're struggling. So do your best to support yourself here and do the same with the left hand under the left shoulder. Okay, if you really press down in the outer edge of the right foot and lift your arch, then you can get a nice ankle opening as well. But while you're here, pull your belly button into your spine so that your low back doesn't just absorb all this curvature. Okay, feel that great stretch along the right side from your low back all the way up to the back of your neck. So we'll start to move the shoulder out too. So flex your fingers out away from each other, strong hand, and we'll circle the shoulder. The right shoulder, okay. Do your best to isolate this movement. Keep that belly button in. Okay, hopefully feeling some nice warmth. Okay, rewind that. Push through the palm this time, like you want to push something down. Okay, next time you reach up, pause here, and come up on your left fingertips. Okay, just want to play around with little balance challenge here. So it's going to be challenging and it's going to be balancy. So maybe just let go of any expectations you have about whether or not how long you're going to balance. But just come up on those left fingertips and lift your right leg and start to feel the balance of your right arm and leg over on the right side of your balancing point here, okay? And your whole upper body is over on the left. So you can kind of play around with that balance. And then see if you could try to balance on the left knee on the left leg. Keep your belly button pulling in, okay? It's something that gets easier with time, but I think this is a fun balance challenge. Maybe take one more breath here while you play with gravity. And then go ahead and come down to the left fingertips again, down with that right foot, and we'll spin it down to hands and knees. Okay, take your hands and knees wide, and we'll just kind of circle things out a little bit. Oh, get some pops maybe. And rewind it. Okay, just gently moving the hips and shoulders. And then let's bring it back to a more normal stance with the hands and feet, hands and knees. And let's get the left knee up and start to circle out the left hip. Okay, keep the hips level. Rewind it. Notice the heat building in that left hip, outer hip especially perhaps. Okay, notice the outer hip has to work a little harder when we keep them level. So now open it up. Big silly circles, warming up more than the hip. Low back, legs. The bottom leg has to work harder now. Rewind it. Okay, point the left knee back, and then we're extending it, dropping those left toes, and we're headed to another supported side plank. So just drop your left heel, spin on that right kneecap, and point the right toes out to the right, and then you're ready to reach up with your left hand. And I will spin around to face you as you settle into place. So same thing here. Make sure your right knee and your right hand are firmly under the hip and shoulder. And then give a little press into the floor, belly button into spine. So you're thinking of maybe pointing your tailbone at your left toes. Okay, and drop the outer edge of that left foot. Okay, this is a nice stretch all along the left side. You can breathe into the low back, rib cage. Okay, but you got to keep that belly button inwardly engaged so we don't lose that great stretch. So we'll start to circle out this shoulder too. So spread out your left fingers, plug in your left shoulder, and start to move it around. All the places it can go. But try to isolate the movement so only the shoulder is moving. Doing everything. Rewind it, push through the palm. Feel that shoulder getting nice and warm. Okay, reach up and pause right here, up on your right fingertips. Okay, we're gonna balance on this side. So let go of balancing expectations. It's just more fun that way. And get the left leg up, and you can just play around with the weight, feeling the weight of the left arm and leg, feeling your upper body weight. Okay. Noticing how that feels. But no matter what, when you're balancing, you're going to need your belly button strong in towards your spine. So we're moving from the core. So go ahead and try. See what happens. Notice if it's different from side to side. It might be. Pull that belly button in. Find something to look at that's not moving. And just think about the upper and the lower body balancing. Maybe one more breath here. And then come down on the right fingers. Come down with the left foot. And we'll spin back to hands and knees. Again, take your hands and knees wide. Circle out your hips and shoulders. Okay, we've warmed up hips and shoulders. We've got the spine nice and warm. Now we can twist our bodies a little bit more, kind of get into some more interesting shapes perhaps. So back to your hands and knees. We're going to tuck toes and lift your hips up and back. Find a downward facing dog. We'll take a little time. Walk out your heels. Okay, give some shoulder rolls here in this position. Letting your head hang. Should feel nice on your neck. Roll your shoulders the other way. All right, friends. With your inhale, let's get the right leg up and out behind. Okay, exhaling here, send that right foot forward between your hands on the floor. Come up on your fingertips here. And just looking forward, get a nice long spine. Remember, you can drop the back knee at any time. That left knee can come down. So breathing here, think of hovering your chest just over your right thigh. Okay, your fingertips are down, so you feel supported in your upper body. And pressing into the floor with both feet, right? You feel just the right amount of activation in your legs. Also try to draw the feet toward each other. So remember to activate in your lunges, and they'll be a lot more effective and a lot more fun. So now that we've activated your legs, go ahead and press down, pull them toward each other, and inhale here, reach up to your crescent lunge. Exhale here, make cactus arms. Drop your shoulder blades down your back. Keep your legs strong. And inhale all the way up with straight legs. Reach up tall. Exhale back down into your cactus arm, crescent lunge. Strong legs, strong shoulder blades, pull down. One more like that. Stand up tall, reach up. And exhale, pulling it down. Cactus shape, arms, hold here and breathe. Push the floor with your legs. Shoulder blades, lift your sternum up. Okay, your belly button is in. You might start to look up. 3 more breaths here, just building some nice heat. 2 more breaths. Last one. Very nice. Go ahead and drop your hands under your shoulders. Okay, from here, we're gonna try something kind of funky. Go ahead and pick up your right foot and then send it back towards your left. We're gonna drop the heels over to the left. So your right foot is now stacking on top of your left. And you can have both of your hands on the floor if you like. I just want you to feel that side plank feel with both feet stacked. So maybe come up onto your right fingertips and strong belly button in towards your spine. Keep pushing the floor down with both your feet. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. Now, if you're ready, you can either drop the left knee and reach up with your right hand for a full side, or for a supported side plank, or keep the left knee lifted and reach your right hand for a full side plank. So I'll spin around to meet you there. All right, friends, hold your side plank and breathe. So anytime you know you can support yourself on the left knee, but I want you to challenge yourself. Point your tailbone at your toes, belly button into spine. Your shoulders are precisely stacked and you have a little bend in each elbow, okay? Breathe. Could you lengthen your neck? For those of you who are doing fine and you kind of want to spice it up, you can lift the top leg. Breathe. Okay, friends, one more long, slow breath here in plank. And here's what's next. I want you to slowly bend that right knee in toward your chest, okay? And see if you could place it back down at the front of the mat where we just left, okay? Drop your right hand here and just do some rocking. Okay, if you have the back knee down, you can still do some rocking with your hips, back knee up. Same idea. Just want to open up the back of the right leg. Okay, back in that lunge, allow yourself to kind of sink back into it. Keep your legs strong. we're gonna roll onto the outer edge of the left foot again, but this time we're gonna keep the right foot up front to roll into the outer edge of it. So kind of a funky posture. Take your time getting in, and if you need to drop the left knee and reconfigure, go for it. But we call this a fallen warrior posture, okay? And we're rolling on the outer edge of that foot, so you get a nice stretch along the outer right hip and along the left hip. So reach up and then try this. Push that right foot into the floor to lift your hips high. Maybe reach the right hand overhead and then allow the hips to drop low. I like to reach the right hand back. So let's try that a few more times. Breathing, inhale, lift your hips, and exhale, lower. Okay, you should feel great in your lower body. Otherwise, find a way to modify. One more. Okay, next time you reach up, pause. I want you to try to come back through a side plank again. So again, pick up the right foot and either stack it on top of the left foot or drop that left knee. And we'll take 3 more long, slow breaths here, building strength in that right arm and shoulder. 2 more breaths. 1 more big breath in. And then calm down with that right hand on the floor. Press it back to a downward facing dog. Here, you just walk to your hands and we'll give that left hand a break. Give yourself a moment to hang here. You might press the backs of your hands on the floor. Shake it out. All right, feel the backs of your legs opening up here, your spine long. So side plank should be feeling nice and warm in your left arm. And so now let's do the other side. But first, let's do just a little roll up. Press into your heels, inhale, and then roll yourself all the way up. Lift your heart. And exhale, bend your knees. We're gonna hinge all the way down at the hips. Shake your head. All right, palms are down. Let's inhale and step it back to a plank just for a moment. And exhale to downward facing dog. Walk it out here. Notice how maybe your kneecaps lifting a little more firmly could help drop those heels. Okay, notice the kneecap heel relationship. Keep the elbows squeezing in for your down dogs. And let's do the other side. Inhaling here, get that left leg up and out behind. Exhale here, send it forward. Drop the front foot. We're gonna pause up on fingertips here just to lengthen the spine and get the legs long and strong. So fingertips gives you a little extra room to float your chest over your left leg. Start to press into the left foot, press into the right, and try to drag them toward each other. And when you feel that you're strong and stable in your legs, keep in mind that you can drop the back knee. You can start to come on up. Big breath in, crescent lunge. Okay, we're gonna cactus this side too. So exhale, bend your elbows, drop the shoulder blades. I want you to feel like you can lift your heart when that happens. Okay, and then straighten your legs. Inhale, straight leg, reach up. Exhale, cactus lunge, lift your sternum. Do it a few more times. Keep the legs strong though. Don't let them go to sleep. Okay, one more just like that and we'll hold it. Breathe here, hold. So legs push down, legs pull together, belly button in, sternum up. Breathe. Okay, feel some nice heat building. One more big breath here. Nice, let it go. All hands down under your shoulders. Okay, now let's see if we could float this left foot off the floor, send it back and near the right foot. We're gonna drop both heels to the right, and I just want you to experience this side plank with the support of the left fingers on the floor for now. You can put them wherever you like, but really pull the belly button inward, point your tailbone at your toes, and feel the left side supporting the right side supporting the floor, lifting up and in. Okay, at this point, if you're ready, you can reach up with the left hand or modify dropping a knee. I'm going to spin around to face you. So side plank, great way to build some heat and some strength in your side body. Remember, strong belly, tailbone points at your feet. And you can modify to make it more gentle, of course, or spice it up by lifting a leg. Make sure your bottom elbow is soft. It never locks out, okay? Side plank. All right, friends. Let's do this nice and slow. Let's bend the left knee and pick it closer in towards your chest. See if you could set it down with control back at the front of your mat, back in your lunge, okay? And you can drop the left hand and rock the hips forward and back with or without the help of the back knee. Think about the back of the left leg opening up. Okay, friends. So let's settle back into that fallen lunge. Okay, the funky side of the foot lunge. So as you're ready, start to roll onto the outer edge of your right foot, just like we did for a side plank. And then do the same with the left, but keep the left foot where it is. So you're gonna, roll into the side of the foot in your lunge. So from here, okay, take a moment to fidget and make it feel right, but it should feel great along your right outer hip and also wrapping around your left. So you can push the floor away once you get settled in, sweeping that left hand overhead. And you can also drop really low. I like to reach back. So we'll take a few more breaths like this, moving between these two funky postures. And just embrace the funkiness of it. Feel free to linger where it feels particularly nice. All right, maybe one more. Feels nice on that right hip. All right, as you're ready, bring that left foot, a left hand down in front. And we're going to transition back to one more side plank. So with or without that right knee, up or down, you can take the left foot, stick it back on top of the right, and reach up with the left hand. Breathe here. Okay, tailbone at your toes, long spine. Just one more serving of side plank before we go. All right, one more breath here. And exhale to drop the left hand. Slowly press it back to down dog. Nice work. Okay, walk towards your hands. And we'll hang there a little while too. Maybe grab your elbows this time. Hang your upper body from your hips. Okay, really start to bend one knee more than the other, kind of swaying side to side. And then you can drop your fingertips in front of you. Let's rock forward and back too. Toes up, heels up. Toes up, heels up. Okay, and then rock your weight back equally into your feet. And we're just gonna point the toes out slightly to either side. So your feet are about hip width toes pointed out. I'm going to turn to show you. And you'll just start to drop your hips down into a squat. Okay, and squats are different for everyone. For some people, it feels really limited. And in your case, you can even just rest with your elbows or your hands on your thighs if that's enough of a squat for you, and it might be. But if you want to, you can release your hips all the way down. Take your palms together and press them between your elbows. And breathe. So sometimes it takes a squat a little while to kind of open up. So don't worry if it doesn't feel extra comfortable right away. Give it some time. I like to rock my weight forward and back. Okay, side to side. And find some nice wiggle movement in your hip joints as you do this. Okay, and then start to feel over time like you can press more into your legs, strengthening them. You can lengthen more in your spine. I like to put my thumb on my sternum and find my heartbeat. Still there. Okay, and this squat is so great for your low back and your hips. So you can stay here quite a long time. And there are just some things you can play with if you want to kind of explore while you're here. So one thing I like to do is once I've got my knees about as far apart as my elbows, you can try moving your knees away from your elbows. Okay, and wow, in your outer hip, you'll feel that for sure. Okay, you can also play around with reaching out to the left. With your left hand, you can grab the floor and reach up with your right hand. So you're building a little twist into this. You can look up and over to the right or wherever seems comfortable. Keep the legs strong. Keep grounding in those heels. So further option here, you can bend that left elbow and send the right hand behind to grab the left. If you got the knee, squeeze it tight. And then try to push it away from you with your leg. Your leg wants to get away, but you're squeezing it in. Breathe. Okay, compressing your hips and moving your hips like this can bring up a lot of heat. Okay, it can also be kind of emotional, so just hold steady and breathe. Okay, release that side. Let's go to the other side. We'll take the right elbow in front of the right knee. Grab the floor with the right hand. Reach up with your left. So building a little twist. Okay, reactivate your legs. Re-engage. Try to keep a long neck, even though it's challenging. And maybe the right arm hooks behind the right leg. Maybe the left arm does too. Squeeze that right knee inward, but try to pull the knee away at the same time. And push the floor. One more big breath here in this Malasana, this squat. And let that go. Come back towards center. Just one more thing here. Walk your hands out away from you. Pull your hips in the opposite direction and just let your head hang. And then we're going to let that go, okay? Walk your hands back in towards you, and then you could probably just come all the way back to a seat from here. Shake out your legs. Okay, that was some great hip opening and low back release. So take a moment to shake it out. Okay, from here, grab behind your knees. Okay, sit up nice and tall. And put a little slight tug in your tailbone so it's pointed a little bit at your toes, almost like you're beginning to lean back so that your abs engage. So lean back, feel your abs engage, belly button in, longest spine. And see if you could just reach past your legs right here, just with your hands reaching past. Find that little bit of engagement in your abs. And then maybe you could lift one leg, point that toe out away from you. Maybe lift the other. maybe grab your knees, who knows? But whether or not your knees are grabbed and whether or not you have your feet on the ground, we're going to use this boat shape and move through it to build a little bit more core strength, okay, before we go. So with your inhale, just roll into your low back. You can do it nice and slow. It might not feel controlled, but do your best to control it. And with your exhale, roll it back up to a boat posture. If you want to do this with your hands and feet on the ground, it would look like this. Inhale, roll down. Exhale, roll up. It's still pretty challenging, okay? So find a little place to explore this movement. Okay, I want you to use the exhales to come up so that you build some nice belly strength. Let's do it 5 more times. 4. Keep your spine long. 3. 2. Last one. Hold it right here. Hold it in your half boat. If you need to bring your knees in and grab them, that's fine. But if you enjoy the challenge, stick with it. One more breath here. Maybe take your hands behind you and let it go. Bring your knees in. Rest your head on the floor. You made it all the way down. Okay, friends. From here, let's get the feet up in the air. We'll circle and ankles. Make circles both directions. Okay, and use your full range of motion in each foot, please, so that you feel your shins and your calves starting to warm up. Okay, let's make some figure 8s. Those are challenging. Make your figure 8s in the opposite direction. All right. Whew. I feel that in my shins. Okay, pause here. We're going to cross the legs. We're going to cross right leg over left, bend at the knees, and perhaps just stay with one cross at the knees, or if you like, you can double cross at the ankles. And let's drop these knees over to the left. We're going to pause here. Let them fall and look to the right. So if you like, you can use your left hand to push down on the legs gently. Breathe. Allow this twist to cool you down and recalibrate your whole back. Breathe deeply, expanding your chest upward on the inhale. Pulling your belly muscles in on the exhale. Maybe one more big breath here. Bring the legs back into center. And before we uncross them, I want to try the other side. So let the legs drop to the right now. Keep the right leg crossed over the left. And look to the left. Okay, having your arms out wide makes this chest stretch really nice and effective. Really ground your shoulder blades and lift your rib cage. Maybe one more big breath here. All right, we're gonna bring this back in. Untangle your legs, stick them back up in the air again, circle the ankles. And then let's let's cross the other way. So this time left leg is over right. Bend knees, single cross, double cross. We're gonna drop the knees out to the right again. So make your cactus arms. Breathe. Okay, you can make the most of these twists by using your breath to your advantage. Twists are giving your whole entire torso a massage. So your organs are getting wrung out and cleaned and detoxified. You might feel some adjustments in your spine. One more nice big breath here. And let's bring them back in. Keep them crossed, left over right. Just want to drop the knees to the left now and look to the right. Right, you can choose to be relaxed in this posture. You can also choose to activate it a little by pressing the floor down. One more big breath here. And bring it back in. Untangle your legs. Shake them out long. Hands out by your hips. And it's time to rest. So let's rest. Release your body effort. Okay, no more effort here. Let your breath just run wild without controlling it. Notice what your new natural is like compared to the natural breath, the natural body tone when we started practicing about 45 minutes ago. Notice differences. What's different about your breath? What do you feel more? What do you feel less? So please give yourself some time to rest like this and just let it soak in. This is where I'll leave you for our practice today. Thanks so much for practicing with me.